Hi, everyone. I'm Maggie McGrath, senior editor at Forbes. In German state elections this weekend, the AfD, or Alternative for Germany Party, became the first far-right party in Germany to win a state election since 1945. Here to explain these results and what it means for German politics is Liana Fix. She's a fellow covering Europe for the Council on Foreign Relations. Liana, thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for the invite.
So let's start by translating these elections for the American audience. Who voted and what exactly were these elections? What parts of the country voted, and was it the whole country?
So it was not the whole country. We had two regional elections. Basically, we have 16 states in Germany that built the Federal Republic, and two of those in the eastern part have voted. There will be one more in the eastern part of Germany. And why is it relevant that the eastern part votes? It is relevant because in the eastern part of Germany, since reunification in 1990, we have seen a tendency of voting differently than West Germany, and often voting much more in much greater numbers for populist movements from the left wing, and this time from the extreme right, for the Alternative for Germany, which is not only a populist right-wing party, it is in reality an extreme right-wing party, which is observed by the German domestic intelligence service in those regional states.
Extreme right-wing party. Let's break that down, because there are multiple political parties in Germany, unlike in the US, where we basically have Democrats, Republicans, maybe some independents, maybe some Green Party. So what is the typical distribution of the political parties in Germany?
So usually we have a very strong center, which consists of of four parties: the Social Democrats, the Conservatives, the Liberals, and the Greens. And the problem is that we had a proliferation of parties in Germany in the last decade. So the Green Party came in addition, and then we have on the left wing and on the right wing fringes the left wing populists and the right wing populists and extremists. So we have six parties. And the problem now in Eastern Germany is that the right-wing extremist AfD has become so strong that it is almost impossible for those four parties in the center to build a coalition without the extremists. And what is most interesting is that the extremist AfD, there are many populist right-wing parties in Europe that we hear about, but the AfD in Germany, in contrast to many other right-wing populist parties in Europe, has not tried to become more mainstream. They have not tried to appeal as dangerous. They have actually radicalized since the last 2 years, since the pandemic, since Russia's war against Ukraine. And despite this radicalization, they have received a record outcome in these two regional elections in Eastern Germany.
In spite of radicalization, is it in fact the radicalization that is driving voters to vote for this far-right party? Or if not the radicalization, what is the reason that voters voted in such strength for the AfD?
So now one can argue, well, it's only Eastern Germany, and Eastern Germany, since unification, has always been the small sister, which didn't get the same kind of advantages in the family. There were a lot of economic deprivation since German reunification. A lot of young, educated people moved out from Eastern Germany. But we also see increasing levels of voters for the right-wing extremists in Western Germany, not as extreme as in East Germany, but especially in the south and Bavaria, we also see an increase of these numbers. And this has actually started with the pandemic, but it has increased with Russia's war against Ukraine and the long-term consequences of that: inflation, rising concerns about war in Europe. Those are all those topics that the right-wing extremists, but also the left-wing populists, are successfully picking up and making the case to stop Ukraine support, to stop immigration, and to return to a more traditional societal understanding of how we live together.